All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Lost Show on the Lost Beat 6 Podcast Network. Today's episode is brought to you by New Amsterdam, which premieres on September 25th on NBC. New Amsterdam stars Ryan Eggold as Dr. Max Goodwin as he becomes the medical director of one of the United States' oldest public hospitals, aiming to reform the neglected facility to provide exceptional vodka to patients. Visit nbc.com/new-amsterdam/beef for 10% off your first handle. New Amsterdam, it's your hospital.
I'd rather condone or abide by this fucking recording session happening in my kitchen.
Psychedelic Space Beef Band. God damn it.
She's hungry for Mongolia barbecue and dick.
Basically, what's going to happen is every week we're going to offer to suck Mark in.
Steven, do you realize how bad of an idea this was? This is an idiotic.
So this is our episode. Yeah, exactly. How Backstreet Boys. It's like, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing?
Shit, we got to be over here.
Like, as a friend, come on, guys.
An incredibly poor decision and literally betrays everything that the Beef Sesh is about.
All right, so we're here to break down Saboten 2018.
Fear and Loathing in Saboten Con 2018.
It was a convention unlike anything I've ever been to. I've been to AX 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016.
And I was with you on the 2016 one.
Yeah, that was a wild ride.
And I should make a point that you and I have done Saboten 2014, 2016.
Yes. 2014 being an exceptionally good one-day experience.
Yeah, it was a good, sample.
Yes. 2016, we went, I think, 3 days. We skipped the last day.
Yeah.
We may have skipped the middle day, too. We may have gone, Friday and Sunday. And
I remember more doing things around Saboten than being in Saboten.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the most Saboten experience possible.
No.
But, I've done AX for 5 years, and I had done Saboten twice before. And earlier this year, a con that I am really excited about now, Anime Los Angeles, I went to this January and had a great time because I've broken up with Anime Expo. There's just too many people. It's
Making too many problems.
Too
it's
many
just
people.
not enough around, not enough to go
Phil
around.
Know what he was saying, or
Don't you see? This is the land of confusion. This is the con of confusion.
Yeah, AX is over. So I've got a decent amount of Southwest cons under my belt, and Saboten 2018 was unlike anything I'd ever seen. The only thing that comes close is AX 2013, which was a one-dayer, which was the drunkest I had ever been at the time in public. Saboten 2018 will contain some stories that I may consider, having gone even harder in public, but that was the original, the one where we were at that point after splitting 2 pitchers at the Hooters as our lunch break, had run out of both the whiskey and the box wine, so we bought a warm bottle of plastic Popov from the nearest liquor store, and we're squirting it from a Camelback. Straight up. It had come to that.
Yeah.
I think at one point, me and my lawyer were smoking cigars outside. It was a ridiculous event. And I went on stage. I borrowed a Yui from K-On! Cosplayer's guitar, and I played guitar and sang along with my lawyer, Kam Suserta, the climactic song from the film End of Evangelion, which I know you haven't seen, but it's...
I know of the song.
Yeah. It's an iconic
well aware of
song.
the song.
And basically, the second the song was over, I put the guitar down, jumped off stage, and threw up in my bag in the hallway, and then went in the car and collapsed for an hour until I'll talk about that con later. This is about Saboten.
Yeah.
So Saboten 2018.
Tell me all about it. Day one, you're driving through the desert with your lawyer.
We'll call that day 0 because the con doesn't happen.
Okay,
so this
day
is
0.
Thursday the 31st, or no, I think the 30th. Let me double check. Thursday the 30th, yes. So I leave, assuming my lawyer is getting in to the airport at 9:40. I expect him at the Burbank airport. I expect it to take 20 minutes for the plane to, taxi and grab the luggage. 10 a.m. is what I'm thinking. So I set my alarm for 8:30. I wake up. The shower I share with my roommate is occupied, so I just have to drive to Camarillo. And I'm based in Ventura, and the two cities are 12 miles apart.
Okay.
And I had never driven from Camarillo or Ventura to Camarillo at that particular point in the day because of my availability at my job, and it took 45 minutes for a 12-mile drive.
Right.
So he's calling me at like 9:30 because I still had to pack up the rest of my stuff. I didn't leave the door at 8:30. He's calling me as I'm pulling into Camarillo, like, "Hey, I just landed," and I'm like, "Oh God, I'm in Camarillo. I have to get to Burbank." And I'm like literally on the off ramp from the 101. So I have to go to my folks' place to shower there, and then find a way to get breakfast. So I don't end up getting to the Burbank airport until basically, 11:30 or so. And he's found a friend that lives nearby, and we meet them at a very shady North Hollywood bar. And in the bar has the John McCain news.
Oh, yes.
He had died just a day or two before, and there was lots of emotional moments of John McCain, what a hero he was. And so that was a nice setting to drop into. Unquestionably, of course. So they finish their beers, we have a smoke, and then we all leave. And from that point on, things are pretty good. We get to basically the Coachella Valley and realize, oh shit, we could pick up some weed. We download the app and see that there's no checkpoint going east. So basically, in Arizona, it's still illegal.
Yeah.
So,
it is not recreational. It is medicinally available.
Yeah, neither of us have our cards, so it would have to be recreational. So we stop in the Coachella Valley and pick up some really overpriced vape cartridges and waltz into Arizona. And my lawyer was coming off of the flight that he's coming from Texas, and he has a layover in Phoenix, but in order to keep me companion on the 6.5-hour drive, he does the flight that has the layover in Phoenix and lands in Burbank, so I'm not doing the drive by myself. Mm-hmm. And he had been up since basically 1 a.m. Central Time. So by the time we're crossing the border and finally getting close, he's completely fried and kind of shaking, and I'm a little worried. I'm like, is this okay? I see it a couple times. I'm like, I think things are fine. I think he's just tired. But you get a little worried when you're in the car with someone and they're making, motions. But the worst doesn't happen. We get to the hotel, we check in, we load in. It's 104 degrees. And the AC takes, hours to start up. So it's basically we're just
usually give you that
sitting there sweating. He's trying to take a nap. I get your call saying, I'm in Scottsdale. Do you want to come to Scottsdale? And we're like, I'm thinking I just lugged all this gear. I'm not going to move this gear again.
You didn't have to, by the way, you didn't have to. You just had to come up to Scottsdale.
Right. But that would mean I would have to not drink.
Well, you just take what you can drink with you.
But how am I getting back?
Oh. That's a good point.
Yeah. I got those California license plates.
Oh, no.
They don't like us Californians out there.
No.
I ain't fucking with anything out there.
Very good point.
Yeah, so it was very clear from the get-go that we were not going to Scottsdale. So, unfortunately, we never met up during the convention. That was our only opportunity. So, basically, by 9:30, my lawyer's awoken from the cat nap to recover from the plane ride and everything, and we start pounding shots and getting into the anime zone, and realize my anime hard drive does not work, so we have to start torrenting anime. Which actually, the connection we got was pretty good.
Yes, yeah.
We got everything downloaded in night one, so we have a good night one. Probably about 10 or 15 shots. A good warm up, so to speak, and at right about 12:30, the power goes out, and this is not good because it's like like I said, like 100.
Yeah.
At this point in the night, it's maybe closer to 98, but like it's still hot as fuck.
Yeah, I think usually if I check the temperature right, it gets down to 90 or as low as 80.
The low was like 83, but that was at like 5 a.m. and this is at like 12:30, so it's still cooling.
Okay.
And so yeah, we have no clue what's gonna happen, but I've got the heart of a sleeping champion. I just go boxers, lie on top of the bed, and I've got enough vodka in me. I fall asleep in 10 minutes. And then at about 4:30, I wake up and everything's like incredibly cold, and I'm like, "Oh, great, the power's back on!"
Yeah.
So I turn all the lights off and go to bed.
Sweet.
But I was pretty proud of myself for falling asleep that quickly. So yeah, we wake up the next day around 9 o'clock, head to Safeway, and get the supplies for the next day or so. Come back and just start going hard. About noon, it's basically it's go time. It's con prep time.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I should change that. We go to the con for about 2 hours because we want to check out the exhibit hall.
Okay. You want to scope it out.
Yeah.
This is the point where you got in here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh yeah. The events are slightly off here. Let me.
That's okay. We can just talk through it.
I don't think we... So the next day we get up around 9 o'clock or so, and we need to pick up supplies for the next couple of days. So we all shower up and head to Safeway and encounter the famous poster that we would joke about for the rest of the trip, the Become Life's MVP picture of a clearly boomer-aged white man with gray hair talking to us millennials about the importance of becoming an organ donor, and the cynical attitude of like, yes, millennials, we need your organs, like our organs are failing soon, like. And Mitty like jokes about like getting pulled over by the cops and like looking at like the license, be like, "Oh, he's an organ donor." Like, sorry, it's not your lucky day. Harvesting the organs. So we would end up
Repo
going.
Man. That's almost Monty Python-esque. That guy the famous in the Meaning of Life liver donor sketch.
Oh.
Where Graham Chapman and John Cleese take out Terry Gilliam's liver while he's still living. I'm currently using it. That's okay.
Yeah, we had some good some good
It's
bits.
in the event of death. That's okay. No one else. No one liver we've taken out has ever survived anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so we get to Safeway, we pick up our supplies, get back around 10 or 11 or so, and start pre-gaming pretty hard. And basically, our hotel is so close, it's walkable. It's like less than a half mile. But when you factor in, both me and my lawyer being pretty out of shape, heavily, under the influence of alcohol, and the temperature being 103, we decide we're not making that walk.
Yeah.
So at around 2, maybe 1:30, we take an Uber over. We hit up the exhibit hall, get some merch, check out some panels. There's nothing really going on. We're just like, all right, we'll go back. We head back around 5 o'clock. We did hit up one panel that was called an explanation of cute girls doing cute things, which was pretty. I mean, I knew everything that was in the panel already. I'm quite the expert on the genre, but to see people in Phoenix at this convention explain it to an audience that supposedly doesn't know about it was pretty interesting. And that guy was actually pretty cool. He had a good panel that lasted the entire length of the panel, something which we would not see later on.
Okay.
He was well prepared, had an actual good like PowerPoint, he clearly planned to make this panel work, and it worked.
Okay, great. Unlike
and
most,
now me making a point of this,
right,
seems a little weird, right? You know, that shouldn't be like a highlight of panel professionalism.
Well, congratulations, he made it through from start to finish.
Yeah. At the time, we didn't know either. But later on, this would become apparent as more of the exception rather than the rule.
And we kind of already knew the rule anyway. This is kind of the point of going to some of the more amateur-based conventions.
True.
To a degree.
True.
You know.
But I still feel like the panels you and I had seen in the Sabotens of the past were at least a little more longer lasting than what we would find this year. The most successful
one I think we walked into was Ask the Survey Corps.
Oh, that was insane.
Which was really silly. Really silly. Asking cosplayers about what their character, who's sleeping with who.
They were
their
all
character.
women too. There was not a single guy on the panel or in the audience besides us.
And I don't think I've ever seen Attack on Titan.
It's not good.
You know, so I still don't know it, and so
you're not missing out.
This is something that I thought they were all women in that characters were women as far as I knew. It's like
there's awful lot of
it's a bunch of it's a bunch of dudes asking about who's licking who.
No, there was no dudes in there.
So,
but anyway, so we come back,
or the League of Legends, let's play. You know.
Oh my, that one. Oh my, panels. We'll skip that one. That panel was very rough, like the PewDiePie intro. We'll skip that one. So we come back. Yeah, it's around 5:30 or so. Now it's time to study up for karaoke. It starts at 7. So we pull up the classic Colors by Flo, the OP to Code Geass, more commonly known as Code Geass. And we start getting our Jibunwo on. We're drinking even more heavily now. We're finished with the first half handle, moved on to the second handle. And things get there around 7:30 or so. We're a little bit late, and I forget my badge. Oh no, that's day 2. So when we arrive to the karaoke and want to put in our names, we see a character about 6'4" with dyed white hair that looks strikingly similar to a friend of ours, doing a very emotional performance of the ending song. Maybe not the ending, one of the songs from the anime adaptation of the manga Akagi, which is one of basically the all-time greatest Mahjong mangas. Mahjong being kind of like game. The ultimate degenerate Japanese game through which business deals are
I thought it was that
finalized over.
I thought it was that one game with the matching tiles.
Yeah, the Mahjong is with the tiles.
Oh, it is. Okay.
But yeah, that's basically how shady business deals are done over through a Mahjong table.
Okay.
With all 4 corners have a spot for your drink and ashtrays, and it's basically fat cats in Tokyo, smoking cigars and drinking So we get there and we're I think we know that guy. That guy seems really familiar. And then he turns a little bit and we're oh shit. It's our
Kevin.
friend who we will call Kevin for this. And
Kevin!
Afterwards we're just oh my god, that was incredible. We're back, man.
The boys are back.
The boys are back. So we say hi. We put in our song, Colors, by
Cyndi Lauper.
by Cyndi Lauper, you know, the famous by Flo.
I love you.
And they tell us, so you have about half an hour, 45 minutes or so. We're like, okay. Well, none of the panels look good. Let's go to Kevin's car, because he's got vodka there.
Why not?
So he's in the parking lot at the Sheraton, because he's staying at the Sheraton.
Okay.
Which, I don't know if I mentioned, is where the convention is, the downtown Grand Sheraton.
You did mention that.
So we go to his car, expecting, I don't know what we expected, but he's got 2 thermoses in the trunk, both containing watered down vodka. And like that was the idea of like the con drinking that he had. Like this is like shades of like 2013 AX, whereas like completely off the rails, like all right, like 90-degree vodka water, like this is the level we're hitting. Like, okay. Luckily, my Faderade, which I had packed, was still cold enough that I could use it as a chaser.
That's good.
But
it's hard to drink that stuff normal temperature, let alone 90
warm,
degrees. Yeah.
Hot. So yeah, it's
Take your poison cold, kids.
yes, absolutely freezing. Preferably.
Freezing.
But basically, Kevin is ranting about things that, in my perspective, they seem very, you know, scattered, loose. Just I'm not sure what's going on, and he's just talking about these topics that he's like jumping from topic to topic.
Was he getting like super like political or?
It was not political.
Super noited.
A little bit noited, more just about like just the complete like scatterbrained like where is like the thread in this conversation we're having, like
Okay.
And we're walking back after spending 20 or so minutes or maybe more. He actually showed us some of his music, which was hilarious. He's a great musician.
He is. He's fantastic.
And I was like, all right, maybe I'm just too drunk and I'm used to people like us when we're hanging out. We don't when we talk about things when we're drunk, we don't do it like that. And I'm just being a little paranoid or skeptical or whatever.
Yeah, as the most sober person ever in this group, I can probably attest that it does not get that scatterbrained.
No, it's things may get like kind of retarded, but they're in a direction.
What'll happen is usually I will say something and you will think of something similar but not quite the same.
Yep.
And it
just riff on it,
and it's not exactly what I intended.
It's not productive, doesn't lead anywhere, but entertaining probably for you.
Kind of frustrating actually sometimes.
Oh, I don't doubt that. So we leave the car and I'm like kind of like nudging to my lawyer. I'm like, he seems a little off, and he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm just reading into it.
Yeah.
We would later find out I was right. But anyway, we get back, and at the karaoke, someone is singing the song we signed up for.
This is the karaoke
in the hallway. It's not even in a room.
Oh, okay.
Like Saboten is like so like dinky and unprofessional that like the karaoke didn't even get their own room. They're like literally like a fucking hallway. So we get back.
Did they thought they wanted to have that street performer style, or maybe they
like the Utopia convention? They're like
perhaps they were afraid that no one would go in the room.
The chains of like conventional.
You bring you go to the audience rather than the audience goes to you.
Yeah, no.
Everybody wanted to
me
hear
and my
you
lawyer
sing.
joked about this later, as this was some like hippie, like existential or whatever. Like this is like bringing everyone together. Like why have doors and like rooms for your convention? We're all sharing the same.
Let's just retreat to the agora.
Yeah. So, no, that was not the case. It was I don't know why they did not have their room. Everyone else did. But anyway, we get back there and someone is singing our song. And I immediately assume they called our names and we didn't respond. And someone was like, I'll sing it.
That doesn't seem
I assume that
doesn't seem very Saboten, by the way, because it's just based on the attitudes of you, your lawyer, Jake, myself, and anybody else at this convention. Literally anybody else at that convention. Could be, like our whole approach seems to us be slightly not above, but just sort of like more self-aware.
Right.
So anyway, I'm sorry, but so someone else just stole your song? Or?
No, they did not.
So they
Someone
actually did
had
that.
earlier signed up for the same song.
Oh, okay.
And I did not. I mean, I had no clue. So me and my lawyer go up and we like share the stage singing the end of the song. And the guy goes along with it because we like fucking memorize the lyrics. We're singing it better than he is. And then I look at the list of like songs and I find out we had not been called up yet and we actually aren't going to make it because it's getting close.
Time,
yeah. Like we showed up too late. And so that was interesting, but we at least got to sing the end of that song. So then basically we part ways. We agree to meet up with Kevin the next day.
Okay.
And we go back to the hotel room and start putting on some anime. And things go real well. I can't really speak about the anime we watched that night. It's not really appropriate for the audience.
This is an explicit content. This is always has an explicit label on the podcast, so you might be able to get away with it.
No, I'll say no. This is only suitable for like the average homeboys plus you. That's
Thanks.
like literally
I feel wonderful to be included in that.
people I trust to not judge certain things. So yeah, we finish the anime and go to bed after drinking several more drinks. And
all right, so tell me about the panel.
So basically, after we came back to figure out that we were not singing Colors by Flo and joined up on stage to sing it anyway, our friend Kevin went to meet some friends and we went to have a smoke break to come back to the panel that we had circled for day one called Waifu's Gone Wild, which according
what time of day was this?
This was the panel was scheduled to start at 11:30 or 11 maybe at night.
Okay, so we're talking late night.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go ahead.
And we went to have our smoke break and we came back and we went to the panel right as it was opening. And we showed up a couple minutes early and there was no one in the room at all.
Okay.
No one sitting in the audience, no one setting up, no panelists. The description for the panel in the programming was your backroom casting couch guy, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it's actually him. I don't know that guy. I don't really watch those videos too much. I know what they are, but the premise was it would be everyone's like favorite waifus like being like photoshopped or something into a position where like this guy's like asking them questions and then like voice actresses are like dubbing answers or something in. That was like the premise of the panel, but no one was there.
Why would anybody want to skip this?
That was very confusing to us.
Did they just forget?
I have no clue what happened. Apparently this happened to other panels as well where like no one, like the panelists just did not show up. This was not the only one.
It's because someone signed up for it and wrote it down and just didn't come.
Didn't come, yeah. But anyway, we get there. They don't show up. There's a microphone there and like seats at the front. And we're just like, all right, fuck it. Let's go up and sit down and pretend we're the panelists and talk about Waifu's Gone Wild. So we get over there and we sit down and we have this it's not the overdubbing backroom casting couch style panel, but it's me both using the Otaku Metrics data analysis that I invented the year before for 2017 AX, and my lawyer both talking about the history of waifus and like how they've become like specialized and like evolved over the years through like
So you've basically taken over this panel.
Yes, yeah, we sit down.
Did somebody actually come in afterwards?
Several people came in.
Oh,
yeah,
wow, okay.
yeah. People were coming in for like the first 20 minutes off and on.
Commandeered. Did anybody actually show up?
We had a couple people.
I mean, like that were supposed to be the hosts.
Not that were supposed to be the hosts. We had like staff come in and look, and like they just looked at us, and we were like, "Hey," and they just left. Like they had no clue what was going on. So like
I love this con.
a couple of Saboten official like staff did come into the room,
saying, "Oh, okay, someone's here. Cool."
Yeah. And then they left. So we went over the history of kind of how the waifu age had been developed through the years, through talking about pornographic drawings and the Tokugawa shogunate to MacArthur's wife like being like really anti-porn and like getting like censorship laws like
in Japan
like there were a couple censorship laws that were already in place, but like basically getting those like finalized, and like talking about like the development of like early waifus in like the 60s and 70s and how that developed through like the visual novel like a boom in the mid to late 90s, and talking about how trends in waifus had made things like cater more to the audience, and like how the scene of like anime, manga, and visual novels had all kind of homogenized and like created like specific waifus for every taste. And like now the kind of like show you watch or visual novel you play or whatever is like designed to like cater exactly to a specific taste. And it was this we like literally talked for like an hour and a half. And there was one guy that was there the whole time. He was like, "Dude, you guys should have a podcast."
You're like, well,
wait. Basically.
Did you tell him about our show?
I did not.
That's good. Good job. It's probably
Thank you.
It's probably for the best.
Thank you. So yeah, that was our panel experience. All right,
So,
and we're back.
Day 2.
Day 2. We're at the halfway point now. So we've hit and miss a few times with trying to get lucky strikes. Finally, on day 2, we can get lucky strikes, and we have the proper SIG experience. We get 2 packs. I didn't expect us to go through both packs in 2 days, but that ended up happening. But so
Jesus Christ, dude.
we go to the same Safeway again, and we get a couple more supplies, and start the same thing. Another basically 13-hour marathon of drinking. And this day we decide, fuck it, we're not even going in the early part of the day.
Yeah.
At 11:30 there was a fur etiquette panel, and also like mom's guide to cannabis at 11:30 a.m.
11:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Both those things sound like the after hours
Yes.
type panels.
And the night before, when we had got back home after night 1, we were like, should we go to bed right now and get up for it? And I was like, I want to sleep, or I just don't want to be up that early. Mm-hmm. So I just decided we were going to drink enough that I was not going to be able to wake up that early.
Okay.
So I achieved that. I was not ready to go at 11:30 a.m.
Right.
So I didn't have to feel bad about it.
I think most of the time, like we know this is your third rodeo, and you kind of know that really you're trying to there's
You could call it my 9th rodeo, but for Saboten, yeah.
Saboten,
Yeah.
Like the kind of goal is to kind of be in the squalor of it, and not necessarily be in the like actually actively
in like
searching
the
out
AM panels, like having like genuine, sincere discussions with like mongoloid like convention people.
That you know
like,
won't last.
No, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah,
I'd rather be in my hotel room. So I made sure to guarantee we would not get up in time. Oh, also, actually, my lawyer probably wouldn't want me describing the alarm clock we had as well.
As your lawyer, I recommend you don't describe your alarm clock.
Yeah, no, it's
Sorry, I'm trying to get my best Benicio del Toro impression.
we got lucky a few times. We set 2 alarms, and like on day 2, the second alarm like happened in the car ride over to the Safeway. Had it happened in the Safeway, like we could have been compromised. So like luckily the alarm didn't go off before we got there, but we made sure to prevent that from happening later on.
Nice.
If there's any Prisma Ilia fans, you will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so we come back from Safeway again, start drinking hard at about 12:31, and this time we have no intention of like showing up for like a first half and coming back. So basically by 7 o'clock we're extremely toasty, 6 hours of drinking. And we go to the con, and we meet our friend Kevin or we sign up for the karaoke. There's some confusion going on about what song we're going to do. And this time we show up in Ahegao shirts.
Okay.
And those shirts it's basically like 40 different like cropped hentai panels of like girls with like blushing like they're like orgasming. Like we like show up in these shirts, and I've got my shades on. My lawyer doesn't feel like he needs shades. He's okay. Just
I want a picture of that.
Up.
Oh god.
So and they're tight. This is like a Japanese large, so it's not a large for us.
Kind of like the Yuri shirt I got you, where it's like just getting
tighter than that.
Oh,
like
baby.
This is like
baby,
like it's on us. So
it's like me when I wear all those basketball jerseys to AX for no reason.
So yeah, we're in the shirts, and we're getting compliments. People are I think appreciating like the effort, or not the effort, just the, all right, you decided that was okay and you're doing this, like, I respect that. So we're rolling around the con.
This is the best visual ever. So great.
Yeah, we have matching ones. Like, he bought 2. Like, these shirts are off the rails.
Oh my god.
I'll show you a picture when we're done.
Yes, that...
Oh, and by the way, they're my coffee bean glasses. Are the shades I have on.
Oh my god.
Like the purple with like the logo on the side.
The swag glasses.
Yeah.
Coffee bean boy swag.
Bean boy swag. So anyway, we end up following our friend Kevin as he leads us to I don't remember what floor it was on the Sheraton, but we end up on like a rooftop like patio kind of thing with like multiple couches, and we're like sitting down with his buddies. And I've got my Faderade, of course. I bring the Faderade every night that I go to the con. And Kevin is drinking warm Seagrams in a glass. Like, he has a handle of Seagram's
What's
gin.
with him is like the fucking warm drinks?
This would become clear the next night.
Okay,
that
all right.
Kevin had become unhinged. We were not fully... I had an idea on day 1, but I was not to be believed by my lawyer. And so day 2, we're at the what I would guess would be the 5th or 6th floor of the Sheraton, in this nice outside patio area where we can all smoke. And me and my lawyer are the only... One of them is like describing like...
That's, we had... I was just listening to our discussion about the hippies and vegans and stuff like that, and the fake meats they use with tofu, and we're like establishing the fact that if you're going to be a vegan or a vegetarian, just stick with that and accept the fact that you're not eating meat-based products.
Change your lifestyle. Don't fake it.
Yeah, don't fake it. Just accept the fact you're going to be eating beans and nuts for a very long time.
Yep, that's
and
my exact feelings on vape.
You cannot turn them into... Although black bean burgers is hard.
I mean, there's way to incorporate beans into things.
Yeah, the black bean burger is like maybe the only exception, and now it feels like I'm full of shit. But like,
you're full of beans.
Full of beans, really.
But anyway, I think I get your point. Like, If you want your nicotine, like, do it properly.
Right.
Let's not fuck around with some like cherry blossom vape juice.
Yeah.
But they had a whole deep dive, and I was like being like the kind of like fake, like, I'm not really sure what the whole vape thing's about, and I was like, asking them questions and like letting them like expose themselves as like the vape roadies they were, and it was incredibly entertaining. Just them like talking about like
that's the way to go
the
about
different
it.
quality of like vape juices, and I was like, how do you know? Like, what do you? I was like, keep it a straight face, but like the in depth like passion that they had about like different vape juices was like, it seemed like a Phoenix thing.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure it's not limited to Phoenix, but it felt very Phoenix. It felt like the like discussions like Shake Shack fries or Arby's, like
Steak and Shake versus Whataburger or something like that.
Yeah, it's just this like completely like, how can you be passionate about this? This is like a
yeah.
So we're out there for a while, as Kevin is sipping Seagram's gin at 90 degrees and vaping off of his buddy's vape, and my lawyer and one of the vape roadies leaves, and they like finish the rest of the Lucky Strikes, and I'm pretty damn disappointed when we meet back. Eventually Kevin leaves too,
right,
and I find them both coming back in the lobby or the hallway, and it's like, all right, well, we have to sing karaoke now. What are we gonna do? So we go back, and it's time for Building 7. Oh, 9/11, 9/11. What went down with Building 7? It's a mystery to this day. So the KJ is totally fine with just going for it. And we make this happen. And we do a pretty good version. I'm like calling out to the audience. I'm like, any 9/11 fans out here? I got a good one for you. Like, I'm just like beyond the point of giving a shit. The Saboten crowd is, malaised enough that, it doesn't really get much of a reaction. But I'm having a good time talking about it.
Actually, truly probably fans of 9/11 are probably like the government. You know what I mean? Excuse to extort patriotism.
Yeah, some like Blackwater, private military corporations. They like made a killing.
That too. I was just thinking of just on bare bones, like, excuse to fearmonger.
Oh, well, yeah.
Just on a more basic level.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably more sinister plans going on anyway, but
I mean, so yeah, it was a PMC plot, like no bid contracts for like corporations to like rebuild infrastructure, all that shit.
You do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah, you hook up your friends. That's the way it works, even if you are supposed to be a government official. But anyway, so we sing the track and we go back and we're a little tired at this point when we wake up the next day, but we still got the fight in us. Like day 3, Sunday, we're ready. Sunday.
Be there.
We're ready for a fight. We haven't given up yet. Which would not be the case the next day, but so Sunday is kind of the climactic, like ultimate anime convention feel, dramatic Glendale Phoenix con drama, like high stakes, like security, like chase, car crash, insane con day that I like never imagined possible.
Yeah. All I want to do is actually, you know what? I want to change the music for a minute here. Actually,
all right. We'll go ahead and pause it. I think the villain's gonna be Doc Octopus.
I think Doc Ock isn't evil yet.
Okay, we're back.
All right, we're back.
This is day 3.
Day 3 of the con, the climactic, wild day that would define the con experience, starts Sunday at around the usual time, 10 or so, 9 or so. Pick up a couple extra things from Safeway. look at the sign to become life's MVP. You know, joke about boomers harvesting millennials' organs to like postpone their lives forever, and you know, the cops shooting you if you're an organ donor. And
one day it'll be our turn to do that.
Yeah. So there's a good spiel that morning as well about the a good conspiracy theory my lawyer had about Uber and the Trump being elected. Like, it was Trump's campaign was this is obviously a very, you know, not a serious conspiracy, if you could even call any conspiracy serious, but the Trump like campaign was funded by Uber so that the global temperature would rise to like completely inhabitable temperatures of like 150, and like Uber would like make like docking stations, and like you would have to be like forced to use Uber to like transport anywhere because of like fuck ups of like environmental policies that would happen from 2016 to or 2017 to whatever 2023 or 25. So that was the kind of level of jokes I was getting from my lawyer. I was getting in the good zone, you know. Organ harvesting and Uber like 150 degree
God
climate change. It was very entertaining. So we start up our third straight marathon of 12-hour drinking again. It takes me a little bit this day. I'm like, hold on. I'm gonna need like another hour before we like get to it. I'm like eating increasingly less just because like the vodka calorie consumption is so high that I like don't need to like eat anymore. I'm like running on like 70% like you know, fermented whatever as like my calorie distilled. Yeah. So we get back to it at around 1, and we go hard, and a good friend of ours will call John and his girlfriend or fiance or whatever, his cosplay GF, Kathy, whatever you want to call her. The two of them show up, and they want to take us out for dinner. And there's a great place they know that serves mapo tofu, which is like super spicy tofu dish. Which is a meme from Fate Stay Night, as like the antagonist invites the hero to enjoy mapo tofu with him, and it's like super spicy. So I was like, oh, I can have a meme meal. Like, this is something I need for like my Saboten experience, like a visual novel meme. So we get on the I-10 East, and as we're getting on the on-ramp, we get fucking rear-ended. And luckily, none of the four of us were hurt.
Right.
And I
didn't know you were in the car.
I was in the car, yes.
I thought you were driving separately and you saw them get rear-ended. That's how I visualized this whole thing.
No. You can picture my first 4 days in Phoenix as being entirely incapable of driving. And also the 5th day. I tested that. We'll get to that later, but... So, me and my lawyer in the back seat, and, yeah, we get fucking rear-ended. I've never been hit by a car.
Oh. It's not fun.
No, it wasn't great, but, like, honestly, no one was injured. And
well,
like,
rear ends are usually the safest accidents, to be fair.
Yeah, but it just provided, like, a weird, like, wow. The only car accident I was ever involved in was, like, completely minor, and, like, I didn't even get whiplash, which may not be true based on the next day. Yeah, but at the time,
well, as one who has gotten whiplash for car accidents, it also is not fun.
Yeah,
I've also been rear-ended. I've also been nicked in the front. Only one of these was my fault.
Car collision, that was my fault, but I suffered no damage from it.
Nice. Nor
did the people that were also involved. But anyway, so we're on our way to get like meme visual novel food, and we get in a car crash and have to like sit there for 45 minutes because the fucking like cops like can't even show up. We're just like sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where the hell is the police? Like, we called it's a car crash. Like, I feel like the police should be here to like
right.
handle things as one would expect. They finally get there like like 45 minutes later, and everything's finally resolved. As me and my lawyer are just having lucky strikes on the side of the road. So we finally get to the restaurant, and I have the Mappo tofu. It's pretty good. I get the mild version, not the spicy, because I'm a bitch with spicy food, but it was pretty good. And then we come back, and basically, I'm just exhausted.
Okay.
I'm like, I know we wanted to go back, lawyer, but like, I need to take a nap. I'm just like lying on the bed, like with my eyes closed. I'm like, dude, I'm so fucking done. Like this, like we've put away so much vodka. Like it, we should. I don't think I have it in me. And then just through like half an hour of like pushing and prodding and like putting on like the dankest shot tracks, like just come back to life. And we like finish the fight. We like drink like heavily again for another hour, and take the Uber back into the heart of darkness, the fucking Saboten con drama that we would come to know that night. So we meet our friend Kevin in his hotel room, and it's the complete opposite. Our room is like a tiny, like shitty motel full of empty handles and like empty ramen cups and chip bags, and
He's got like a nice.
he's got like a nice, like room with like it's completely clean with like bottles of like liquor like on the counter, and it's just like this complete 180, and he has the room by himself. So we get in there and we start drinking, and he invites a couple other of his friends, and within the next, our friend Kevin starts to break down and explain what has happened to him during the convention and things about his relationships that me and my lawyer have no clue about. We don't know what he's talking about. But when I get liquored up, I try to get involved. I try to be helpful sometimes, or the opposite. I try to be argumentative.
Yes.
So I'm trying to be helpful. I'm like, this guy, trying to figure out things, and it's just not working. At one point, me, him, and one of his other buddies are just in the bathroom, and he's, doing some like cathartic, what do they call those, the yells you do to try to, it was like a late 60s thing. It was like an emotional release where you like yell out or whatever.
Oh, Primal Scream.
Primal Scream, yeah.
Yes.
Where we're like
John Lennon style.
Yeah, we're like getting hit with that, and I'm like I barely know this guy. Like I feel bad.
This is also not your first rodeo in breakdowns, drunken breakdowns. They're more like drunken breakdowns.
This was less of a drunken one, and who knows what else besides the alcohol. So we're dealing with that, and the security is called. They knock on the door. I answer. I'm like, hey, I take the lead. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm explaining.
You're a born leader, Eric.
And I'm just like, it's fine. He's got some issues. We're not going to make any more noise. His other buddy and him are behind me, and they.
I'm sorry, did he explain? I was kind of dealing with a little bit of a soundtrack problem. Did he explain what was going on, other than just like past
He did.
relations?
I do not remember.
Okay.
I was in an irresponsible position of, trying to take the lead, but not even really comprehending what he's... Actually, at the moment, I probably was. I just don't remember after the fact. It was basically, to my understanding, an ex-girlfriend of his was hanging out with people, or men, that he believed to be women abusers. And in this moment, she was calling him a women abuser. So this was like a drug-addled, he said, she said, Klonopin, Adderall, snorting, warm gin-induced, like... entanglement of
he said, she said, bullshit.
like me and my lawyer had no clue who was telling the truth. Like, there was no way to know if any of anything anyone said was true.
Right.
But I was just, looking out for my guy.
No, for sure.
And I got the security to leave. It was good. So basically, his buddy and his buddy's girlfriend had been giving me and my lawyer the look of like, can we leave yet? Which they should not have been, because they know him a lot better than we do. But look, I eventually was like, all right, yeah, I guess we'll babysit this guy.
Yeah.
So we agreed to go back to the convention.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, I'm done dealing with this XGF situation. Like, fuck it, let's just have a good time.
Sure.
So we start going down floors on the elevator. And we end up on, I don't know, the 4th or 5th floor. And me and my lawyer was like, this is kind of weird. The convention isn't on this floor. And then we're just following him, and he's going to this room in the middle of the hallway. And he starts, yelling at the room. And we're like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
In my head, I'm thinking, like, I probably should just... I don't want to see I don't want to see him get in a fight or get his ass. So he's like yelling at the room, and nothing's happening. And about a minute later, this guy, who's probably about a foot shorter than our friend, shows up, and he also starts yelling, and he starts punching the door.
Oh, God.
Like, hard, to where it's like resonating throughout the entire hallway. And then finally the bouncer comes out. You couldn't even call him. He's like a weeb con party bouncer.
God.
He's just like the big guy there, right?
Are these weebs bothering you?
So he opens the door, and he lets the door puncher in. But before this happens, the door puncher and our friend have a confrontation, and it's like our friend's like looking down at him, like he's like literally a foot shorter than our friend, and it's like I know who you are. Like, I know who you are. I know what you've done. And me and my lawyer just sitting there like, who did what? Like, what is it? Are they going to, like, fight each other? Like, what's happening right now?
I'd like to know.
Yes. But I'm just sitting there. I'm just, like, kind of prepped. Like, I just want to break up a fight. Like, I don't want to see anyone get, like, their asses kicked. That's my attitude at the time. So, after this confrontation happened, otaku bouncer like opens the hotel room and pulls in the door puncher, and shortly after this our friend is yelling and like trying to get in, and like they don't want him in. And then on the corner of my eye on the right side, I see not a hotel door open, but like just a floor door open, and it's the same three giant beefy dudes from earlier. And in my peripheral vision on my left, I noticed that like a hotel, an elevator, like someone else was going somewhere else. They had like just opened an elevator door. And like in the last 10 minutes, this entire time, my lawyer was just giving me the eye of like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we still here? And I was trying to take the idea of like, I just don't want to see this guy get hurt or whatever. But I see the beefy dudes start like strolling, like strutting. And I'm like, okay, we have about 1 second before we get involved in this. And I like see the elevator door on my peripheral on the left, like kind of closing. And I like dash over there and I like put my arm in, and my lawyer follows me. And in like the blink of an eye, we're gone. We're down the elevator. We're outside the hotel, and we're in the Uber going back to our hotel in the span of like 2 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
And we had no clue if our friend would be in, because like that was some, like, I have no clue what kind of like drugs and drama and things were going on.
Yeah.
And also earlier in the night, he had given me his like keys, so I was holding his keys.
Oh.
So like, there was for sure going to be
car keys, hotel keys.
Car keys.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah. So it was guaranteed there would be some sort of like I figure out what happens here afterwards. But like we came back in to our hotel room finally at 3 a.m. Just out in the balcony in like the 85-degree Arizona heat, just like damn, man, like, what the hell are the people out here on? Like, what the fuck is going, like, what kind of scene is out here where, like, everyone's being, like, suspected of being, like, a cosplay GF women abuser and, like, ostracized from their, like, otaku community? Meanwhile, they're all, like, hipster art, like, well-dressed people. Like, what the fuck is...
I think
I had no clue what was happening.
There's a couple things I could think of. One is this is like the small bastion of, like, in the middle of, like, a giant red state.
Kind of, yeah, but, like, mixed with, like
mixed
cosplay
with,
GFs.
Yeah,
that,
well,
like,
that's
who wield total power over, like, all the males in their
you
circles.
have to. When
like,
you're
you
the
just
only
accuse anyone of being an abuser and, like, they're, like, ostracized.
You know, Hollywood has their thing. They have their thing.
Oh, I should also
Part
mention...
of it, it's Phoenix, man. Like, we were just discussing, like, how much there's, you know, what kind of sounds can you get out of the dry desert with like nothing else but, like, nothing but the air to listen to, and like,
it's unbelievable.
And you're surrounded by people who love sports, God,
Circle K.
Jesus, their guns,
Arby's, Circle K, anime,
and anime,
and women abuse, apparently, because everyone's a women abuser.
That has to be some
ready
sort
to
of
be outed.
That probably they could be writing the Me Too.
They're, like,
meme.
holding their, like, cosplay GF's hand on the stove to, like, prove a point.
I think they're just writing the trend.
I think you're right.
You might be, you know, and it's not a trend that, you know, not to take that trend lightly, but, like,
no,
but
certainly not.
But it's like, it's easy to get in on the bandwagon.
It's hard to imagine our friend as a women abuser. I'll say that. You know him probably as well as I do.
Yeah.
It basically seems impossible.
Yeah.
But he's been, like, ostracized, according to him, of this group of women abuser. Based on, like,
it could have been an ex-girlfriend. This happens when you have friends, when you're all friends and you date when you're dating somebody that's a friend.
Yeah, man, they're all friends. They're gonna
split.
GF.
They'll split fast, and they'll probably side with the woman.
It's called a bro code.
Yeah.
Or a homie hopper.
A homie hopper.
All right, well,
we're dealing with homie hoppers,
we
man.
got about 5 minutes left, so we need to get to the epilogue, which is the Monday afterwards, day 4 of the convention. I wake up and my body isn't really hungover, but it's just broken down. I've, like, never felt like that I can remember, where just my body was tingling the whole day. Like, it hurt to stand up. Like, I was basically lying in bed for, like, 10 hours straight before I decided to pack up. I left at about 7 to try to come back from Phoenix, so that at 6.5 hours, that puts me coming back with no stops, 1:30 a.m. It was ambitious in the first place.
Yeah.
And I made it about 2 hours. I just was able to cross the Arizona border before, like, the tunnel vision I was getting and, like, the pitch dark only thing I could see was, like, cars was, like, causing, like, my head to collapse. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I have to, I need to pull over. Like, I will spend $50 on this cheap motel. Like, I can't make this drive. Like, it's not going to happen. And, there was a Popeyes. Got some Popeyes.
Oh, nice.
I was able to eat about half of it, despite eating nothing the rest of the day, just because, like, my bodily functions weren't working. I was able to eat about, like, a half of a Popeyes meal, and then, like, crashed. And the motel was so cheap, the AC was so crappy. I woke up at 5, like, in sweat.
Oh yeah.
Because it was still, like, 80 degrees in the room. And after that, I had a cig. Met with some, like, total hillbilly California guy that was like, man, that guy's got like 2 tow trucks on his car. That's, like, not legal. He's, like, parked legally. Like, he's got Texas license plates. Like, I don't know if I don't want to be that guy. And I'm like, having my cig, like, I'm like, yeah, man. Like, yeah, that's probably illegal, dude. Why the fuck are you talking to me about this?
And yeah, you probably shouldn't be that guy.
Yeah,
So
I'm
don't be that guy.
like, yeah. So it's like,
So
okay, man.
why are you telling me this? Thanks for letting me know that that's not legal and I won't do it anymore.
Yeah. So, like shortly after the guy got in his like double like towed like trailer thing and like left, and the other guy, you know, went back into his room and you know probably was real steamed about that guy having like an illegally like double towed parked thing, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm in Blythe, California, I guess. So showered up, packed up, and drove for 4.5 hours straight, and got back to Ventura, California, and what the fuck? What a hell of a convention!
Yes, that's quite the adventure, man. I feel slightly responsible for half of this because you would have been stuck. You know, you wouldn't have to. I would have probably driven you. You know.
Yeah, we wouldn't have gotten the car crash probably.
That's debatable, but yeah, like
And the drive back.
Who
yeah.
drove?
I drove both ways.
Oh, so you're the one that got rear-ended. Your car got rear-ended.
No.
James's car got rear-ended. Yeah, that's right. James's car got rear-ended. James was driving.
I think John was driving. Was this cosplay
John.
GF or
Oh,
fiance?
I'm sorry, not James. John was driving.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, John. And John's car
Yeah.
got rear-ended.
Right.
Got it.
So, it was not my car, thankfully. That was the one car I was in the entire trip, and it was rear-ended. Just incredible stroke of luck.
You know, it's kind of funny. John called. I talked to John briefly today, and he's going like, "Hey, did Eric tell you about the car?" I'm like, "Yes," and I slipped that it was funny. Like, not for me. I mean, not for you, but it was funny.
It was funny at the time to me, kind of. It was like, what the fuck? Why is this happening? Why is this convention so ridiculous?
It was it by who hit? Was it a
Some
weed?
guy, some just like not quite.
It would have been
boomer,
great if it was like
Gen X.
someone.
Oh yeah, like, give me your organs. Harvested himself. It's like kidneys failing. Sees these like healthy millennials.
Yeah.
Become life's MVP. Like,
Fortunately, he was one generation off.
yeah, no, his
That's a
organs
great way
will be
to.
good for
That's a
another
great way
10
to
years.
full circle this pod. By the way, by coming that back around, that joke punchline, boom. That's great.
Hey, there you go.
We should have this pod now.
10 out of 10 Saboten. We'll be back.